Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm just hello, welcome. Fireline session. You know, David Williams says he's probably non-binary. Well, is this fire gonna go? I don't think it is. Oh dear, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Right. God, no, that's not going, is it? Oh dear. I mean, so you've got sex and so you got males and females. You've got biological, genetic. You've also got gender. Gender is a bit of a trick word. Well, I think the fire's going to go. That's because I opened the front door. Gender. So to say you're non-binary is a bit of a, it's a really, do you know, I personally sort of reject that. It's non-binary. So it's really a conflation of everything to then claim that you're not. So what I mean, it kind of means that you're fluid. So that you're not male or female. Is that what it means? But then that's if you're assuming that we're talking gender, because biological sex is male and female. So first you need, if you're having a debate about anything, you have to identify, you have to agree on what a word means, you know, before you even start arguing, well, debating it. Non-binary, it's just, if you say that, it just means you're a fanny. I mean, it could be that in some ways people could describe me as, you know, I don't know, it depends what is the definition of male, what's the definition of female. If you're going to use gender, the word means general. It means, it's such a misused word, it's unbelievable. And people don't want to talk about it either. I've tried to correct people and they just start getting really angry at me and everything, and you know, because they believe there's only two genders. There isn't. There's two sexes, yeah. And the whole thing is like, so you're going to start changing the meaning of the word. So that's what they seem to be doing. They're changing the meaning of the word gender to mean that, to apply it to biological sex. But to say that you're non-binary, it just means you're a fanny. It's just like you're not committed. Well, yeah, you're not committed either way or the other. And maybe I'm a bit like that. Maybe I am, but I don't say I'm non-binary, do I? Because I think it's a stupid thing to say. That's why. So gender and how you know. So you also think about sexuality, you know, and as you get into the whole sex thing. You know, like people claiming they're gay. What does that mean? You know, these questions. So, what does gay mean? That was another problematic phrase. I mean, it used to mean that you were happy and you were gay abandon. It didn't mean you were homosexual. So the meaning of that word changed. So it might be that there was a thing about fertility this morning on the news. They were talking about women getting, getting their eggs, becoming pregnant, using technology. What is it, fertility treatment? Or I don't know what exactly explain this, but they're getting their eggs removed and they're being made pregnant. But there's no. I'm not sure about this, but there's not going to be a father. Is what it is. Well, technically there is a father. Yeah. That's a funny thing about this. Yeah, technically there is. It would come from a sperm bank or something. So there is a father, but there's not going to be a father. So they're going to bring up this child on their own. There's a lot of them doing that. That's because of technology. They're able to get rid of men. They don't have to put up with men. They don't have to put up with the struggles and challenges of life. They don't have to put up with men's behaviour, and and obviously men have to put up with women's behaviour. And so, what's my point? Well, it could be that a lot of men are maybe sort of indulging in different types of sexual activities because they can't cope with women. It doesn't mean to say they're actually homosexual. I think there's a bit of it's been very misleading, that whole thing, in terms of there's people who just are into sex, I think that's certainly true. It doesn't mean they're homosexual, or so your binary, non-binary, your non-binary thing is, well, look at the fires going now. The non-binary thing to me is just David Williams. I mean, he's probably bisexual, going by scientific analysis. I think I am, or whatever way you want to look at it. But of course, I've witnessed an operation, so I'm unable to penetrate a woman or penetrate anyone. But so there you go. It's like, well, that didn't mean to say I was homosexual. It just meant that I was choosing. I think a lot of it, like sort of, this is a conversation a lot you might not want to hear. I think in the past maybe people kept their private life to themselves, sort of sex life and stuff like that. Or maybe there was a relationship between men and women where you got married and you had several children, and maybe you didn't have time to indulge in sexual activities because you were too busy working. Because is that what it is? Is it because we've got more leisure time? All these factors. So it could be that maybe 150 years ago, a man didn't have time to go and have sex with somebody else, man or woman, or it depends what you're talking about. Going back to when we lived in tribes, we were talking about a while ago. Men were away together on their own, hunting. I don't know what went on. So I think they maybe landed up sleeping with each other. So I think maybe it was the Victorians that had this obsession with quantifying and classifying everything. So basically we're all getting upset over something that doesn't really fucking matter. But generally, unfortunately for our civilization, Western civilization, and not for humanity, but for Western civilization, when women and men don't want to get together, as in get married and have children, then that's really bad. It's well documented and well proven. There's no doubt that children from homes where where both parents are going to have better options in life, and it's been pretty well proven, that one. So I think what's happened is we've rejected Christian values, and we've went away from that, and It's a weird thing is it's actually caused a bigger divide. That's so weird. So the options that you've got. So this is the problem. The options that you have. Say you can go and sleep with anyone, or you can even marry anyone, the same sex or the opposite sex. You can marry anyone. So the downside is that because feminism has brought about freedom. I'll do that with that inverted comma thing. That thing. It's actually taken their freedom away. Because it's given men freedom to say, fuck it, I don't want to be involved with you, I'm off, bye. Or they won't even get married to you in the first place. So they can go off and sleep with other men or do whatever, or sleep with nobody. And they don't have to do any fucking thing. So a lot of these, so I think that the Christian values were probably the best ones. Going by the Bible and it's too late for me because I'm obviously beyond all that, you know. So I'm just talking at it from a perspective of fire's going nice now. You know, from reflecting on my life because I'm getting towards the end of it. So ideally, I would have preferred to have found. I went for all the wrong women. I was brought up badly. I had a psychopathic mother, sociopathic mother, overbearing, overpowering mother. So all these things are related to what we're talking about. So if you go and have treatment and you don't have a father for your child, it's going to be unbalanced. The upbringing of the child is going to be unbalanced. You could be a devouring mother. So we could have all sorts of problems with that sort of thing happening. So if I was, ideally, this is all academic, but ideally it would be better to find a woman, get married and have several children, and then grandchildren, and that didn't happen. Well, it did happen to me, but not in that way. So what happened to me is I got married the wrong women, obviously, ones that had been married before and already failed in their relationships, which is not a good sign. And then, but I was already fucked up in the head anyway. I don't think I was good for them either, you know. I was, in terms of I was a bit of a money spinner for a while, or an easy option for them that they could just get rid of. But I was going for narcissistic women, and I think that's a fact, and that was because my mother was like that. I was going for the wrong type of women. I probably had met women that weren't like that, and they didn't float my boat, you know. And that was part of the abuse that I suffered. So ideally, it'd have been better to meet someone and, you know, have lots of children, stay with them. But all these things have been compromised now. Changes in how we live and everything like that. You know, I'm not even getting into the cost of living. You know, the difficulties people have, mortgages, and are paying rent, or paying for this, that, and the other. You know, it's all very problematic. It's not particularly. That's funny how the fire, all the flames are at the top. Oh, it's coming up from the middle at the back, isn't it? Might be a bit if I opened it a wee bit. It's still got the air going into it. I'm trying to get it to spread to the bottom. So nobody listens and nobody cares. Probably nobody's going to listen to what I say or my opinions. People just generally do what they think's best for themselves. Unfortunately, that's why you needed Christianity. That's why you needed religion to guide you in the right way, you know. And it was sort of rejected by my generation. We rejected it flat out, you know. And sadly, it's all sort of disappeared. And now we've got the outcome of that now. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So the non-binary thing, it's just bollocks, really. The gender thing, yeah. So I'm sort of in the position where I'm just past caring about it. I don't really care. So somebody said to me yesterday, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got your pronoun wrong, you know." And I said, I don't really care anymore. But it's like, well, you should, but I don't want to land up arguing about all that shit. You just got to get on with things. And I'm in the position that I'm in, so I've got to get on with it, you know. It's a bit like, I've got this pal at the car boot, and he doesn't like, he's a bit like my dad. He's alright, and he's fine with me and everything. I got on alright with him. He just he kind of accepts stuff. But he would be the type that wouldn't want to listen to somebody like me talking like this. It's like, fuck off, you know. Well, if you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to. You know, it's almost like it's taboo. It is a bit taboo. It's just, let's just let that be sort of attitude. It doesn't mean it's, so what I'm saying to you about this guy in particular, he accepts me for who I am, and that's all you really need. But going into all this kind of explanations and everything would be something he wouldn't want to get involved with. I'm just saying, he does remind me of my dad a little bit, because my dad was not an ignorant man. He did. He was very, very, you know, he was intelligent. Yeah, he was high up the competence hierarchy. He was bright. Yeah, his IQ was probably quite high. And you know, I've no idea what it was, but I'll just say it probably was. He would be the type. Well, so I was getting into the Protestant thing, you know. And I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's religious doctrine. So maybe I'm contradicting myself now. Now I'm talking about religious doctrine. Earlier I was saying that Christianity is the way to go, but it's finished. Nobody's going to bother with it. Right. So on that note, yeah. Okay. So is the fire going? Can we happily? I wasn't even going to bother lighting the fire, so I'm trying to decide what to do today. I think I'm going to try and get the rest of the wood cut out the back. So I need to get in. One of the other things I need to do is get into the studio and start working on the painting and whatever other art ideas I've got floating around my head. I need to get on with it. I also need to get in touch with one of my what is it? Cohort of syndicate members, but the van's no starting. Well, it didn't start when the snow spell happened, so I'll need to start it the day. It'll probably start now that it's warmer. I'll need to arrange getting the van fixed as well. You know, it's going to be MOT in January. See, when you have cars, they cost money, but you know, without them you can't really function. Well, unless you want to sit at home and be a total wally, a slave to the green communists, then if you just want to be dependent on green communism, then you don't need cars, no. But you're dependent on green communism. So the fire's starting to do that ticky noise now when it starts to really get hot, because there's too much air going in the front. So the other thing I've got to do is go to Cumbernauld. I've got a heap of clothes and I want to go. I enjoy going down there, and I go from breakfast at Wetherspoons. I quite like that. How sad am I? Yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. Yeah, how sad's that? Go and do a video and then go have breakfast. Is what I normally do. It's part of things that I do. The other thing I've got to do is, well, the white car's away at the mechanics, so really I can't do much about that until hopefully I'll get that back for the weekend, because I might need it if the van's not going to start. So that's one of the reasons why I have more than one vehicle. But so the government, you know, they're talking about clamping down on people. They're trying to get the young into work. It's just bullshit, isn't it? So they've shut down the North Sea. You know, they're coming away with this net zero nonsense. They're killing off all our industry. They're shutting down industry right, left and centre. They're shutting down our steel production. Shutting down our refineries as a result of the oil in the North Sea getting severely restricted. And then they're wondering why young people don't have jobs, are not working. And equally, why would you want to work for a system when you've got, like, Keir Starmer, who spends his time flying around the world and then tells us that we've got a climate crisis and we have to stop using cars, log burners, and eating meat. All these things they go for. So I think what happened in America with Donald Trump, hopefully something similar will happen in this country. Who knows if it will or not. So I think I'm very cynical about the political system. I really don't like Stammer. I don't like the Labour Party. I didn't like John Prescott actually either, but because Tony Blair's the one that started all this lies and deception. He should have really been locked up for war crimes, and that might have maybe made things a bit better for us, but I doubt that's going to happen. A lot of that might come out when he dies. So you get some of these people, like characters like him, they're doing more, like Bill Gates, do more danger than good, don't they? Harm to us. They're mentally disturbed. Bill Gates is definitely mentally disturbed. I mean, he's just not wired right, that guy. I mean, it's alright not be. I mean, I'm not wired right either, but it's really, when you say you're talking about normality and what's normal. So I'm not wired right, but I think that'll do now. That's the fire going. So that's the fire lighting session over.
So the problem is big because it's risen quite a lot
Turn that
in 2 years.
down a bit.
Unemployment itself.
That's nice and warm. Just leave a bit of air going in. Of course, it's a modern fire, so you never close it off. Get Britain working again. Unemployed 18 to 21 year olds lose benefits if they used to work. I mean, they were putting them into university and everything. Now they're crippled by student loans. So this is rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic, because they're going to force them to go into work or go into schemes and stuff instead of actually providing work. You know, like. So they're trying to. So it is their work. Well, real work. I mean, proper work. But how can there be if they're shutting down all these industries? You know, it's like. Right, I think that'll do it. That'll do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye!
With Social Security, everybody has a responsibility to stick to the rules. What that means is, if you receive universal credit, an agreement about what you're going to do, about the activities that you're going to undertake, and if you don't fulfil that agreement, if I claimed universal credit tomorrow and I didn't fulfil what I'd signed up to do, then I could have my...
Oh god, what a nonsense. Bye!